Welcome everyone to the Youth Developer. Today's interview is going to be on a little trail, a little hike following the one and only James Daniel Zito. So James, how did you arrive at your current position?
Well, I got involved in the field of youth development accidentally, although I was a high school teacher for a few years right out of college. I left that to work for myself as a kind of like a writer, blogger. I did stuff for people. I did the writing. People took credit for it, and they got paid for it. Coach wrote a few books, but then I got involved in the YMCA of Greater New York here in Staten Island. A friend of mine, who I believe was you, who I eventually married, invited me to start a Taekwondo program at your after-school place.
PH57.
PH57, yep. You wanted me to come in to the virtual Y. I had no idea what that was. I was like, is that online? Is that do I have to fill out a survey? Do you need my email? And it's like, no, it was actually in the school building where you guys brought the YMCA services to families and kids who couldn't afford it. So I started there. I taught Taekwondo, and I started doing behavior management with the kids. They called it conflict resolution behavior management specialist. And from there, I just kept going up and up into the ranks until I was eventually youth and family director for the Broadway YMCA.
What do you want to change in the field of youth development?
Oh, so much. So as your friend Aaron up in Springfield College once said to us, we tend to, in the field of youth development, we tend to build the plane while we're flying it. So a lot of times we're not really achieving our mission or our mandates. It's kind of more of like we're worn out, we're not developing our full potential, we're not realizing our spark, and then we're expected to turn around and do this great, amazing thing, and there's never enough time, there's never enough resources, there's never enough anything.
So with the whole taking responsibility for yourself, I know that we cannot change like nonprofits and we cannot change people. What's something that you are doing currently that's impacting the youth?
Well, currently one of our biggest projects that we have is the robotics that we're currently doing in PS78. We're exploring bringing it to some more schools and our tutoring. So what we find with robotics is that you're introducing kids to something that's my spark. One of my sparks is learning and discovering, especially when it comes to the sciences. I love science, huge science nerd. So I get to share that with the kids, and through that, some of the kids potentially can realize their own spark, or if not, they gain an appreciation for mine. So like when they encounter that in another child, another person, they're appreciative of that. Because we all can't be experts at everything.
Exactly. We can't.
Even though I want to be.
No, thanks, James. I appreciate that fact that you're saying that we cannot be excellent on everything. And that's, I think, one of the problems with nonprofits right now. You know, we want to be there and do all.
Yeah, because we need each other. So we need people of all different skills. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times, like we've even encountered this in our own life. You encounter people who got to their position not because they were great at paperwork or being an administrator. They got it because they were fantastic at X, Y, and Z. Like in my own situation, I largely became a youth and family director for the Broadway YMCA because of the camps I had created. We did that through one of my gifts is building teams, but maybe sometimes the paperwork was not necessarily what you wanted me to be doing.
So what is a day-to-day activity you must do in your role?
You kind of always have to go back to where you want to be going. So you always kind of have to take a few steps back, make sure you're really planning it out, you're keeping focused on your vision. And the day-to-day trenches of youth development, you can easily get lost. What's really important. Like, there's this fire, there's that fire, but that fire isn't really where you need to go. You need to take care of the fires. You need to figure out how to prevent fires from happening.
What are you currently reading to sharpen yourself?
I'm reading a lot of books about investing and about just increasing my financial IQ.
Awesome, and I think you're reading
The Alchemists. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the guy's name. And it's about basically fulfilling your personal legend. Everyone has one, at least according to the book, but not everybody realizes it. And it's just about like understanding that, like life shouldn't be something that just happens to you. Like, you can still choose your response. And even when you hit setbacks, like a lot of times setbacks and struggles are really opportunities in disguise, and they're really preparing you for the next step on your journey.
Awesome. What would you say are your 3 most influential books you read in your life?
One of them, I know everyone says it, but at least, like a lot of things I listen to. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Just Unfair Advantage, also by him as well, just because like it's just something I never thought about before. I had never been taught about money. I always thought money was like an evil thing, or like like people who do things for money are a bunch of sellouts. Where really that's not true. Like you can do a lot of great things with money, and like the right use of money. And money is one of the most important things, and we're not teaching it in schools, which is another idea of mine to create a program that teaches children about money, regardless of what they want to do. They should know how it looks, know how it works, know where it comes from,
right,
and all that other stuff. And then probably the third book would be Ray Bradbury's book, Zen and the Art of Writing. Which
it's a small book.
Yeah, it's just a very small book. I've read it a few times in my life. It's about Ray Bradbury. He was a science fiction writer, and just like his whole creative process. So, there's been other people who've written fantastic books in that, like Ann Dillard, I believe her name is, and Stephen King wrote a great book on it. I mean, you got to get past all of his memoir stuff, unless like you're really a big fan of Stephen King. However, the nuts and bolts of his writing, his parts in the book about the actual craft of writing, are really amazing. And he's one of the, the best, not necessarily the best writer. Sorry, Stephen, if you ever listen, but he is one of the most prolific writers. He knows how to get crap done. Mm-hmm. He knows how to write books. He knows how to, write to his audience. So regardless of whether you're a fan of his horror writing, he knows how to do it, and he knows how to do it on a consistent basis. Ray Bradbury's book is more about like that thing that's inside every writer. We don't necessarily really know where it comes from. It's weird. It's a little scary. Sometimes even a little gross, but it's in there, and it's like has a story to tell. And sometimes facing it, can be a part of a lot of art.
Awesome. Let's see. So who are your mentors, either currently or, mentors you never met but read books about, or anybody as you were growing up?
Well, one of my biggest mentors growing up, you might laugh, would be Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales.
Was he?
Yes. I always wanted to be like him when I grew up. Because he took care of his family, he took care of Donald Duck's kids, while he was figuring out his life. I guess him and Daisy Duck had split, whatever. That was never really explained, like why these kids were with this old man and how none of them have a Scottish accent. Daffy Duck, or I think it's Daffy Duck, right? Like he obviously has a speech problem, like you never know what the heck he's saying, but somehow they have a Scottish uncle who's wealthy, has all the gold in the world in his money bin. But the thing I loved about him is that, he just had like a lot of life and vitality. He was very smart, he was very wise, and he was really a great role model for those kids. The best episode ever, go look it up. They actually talked about, the problems with inflation and a lot of things that are happening with the Federal Reserve today. Sorry, I don't mean to get on my soapbox, but like how we can't really just keep printing money, printing our way out of our problems financially, and we really need to take it serious. But yes, Scrooge McDuck, he was an explorer. He went all over the world. He went to India, Peru, all these different places, and he was always looking for like ancient treasure. So like that always excited me as a kid, and it excites me as an adult. The idea that you really can make of life what you want it to be. So I'm sorry, but yes, one of my mentors is Scrooge McDuck. I'm sure you've never gotten this before.
I've never gotten this before.
Never gotten it before, but I was a very weird child, so.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Any current or people you haven't met yet?
Maybe the man in the mirror,
Got it.
No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, I feel like a book can be a mentor. So a lot of times, I consider Robert Kiyosaki one of my mentors.
Love it. Awesome. And who would you say is in your social support?
My social support, one of my good friends, Mario. He's always there for me. He definitely knows how to talk to me and how to listen. I can only hope I'm as good of a friend to him as he's been to me throughout our friendship. He's a very smart guy. He definitely has a lot to offer the world, really, in terms of like leadership and just like his thinking. Great leader. Up until recently, my dog was part of my social support. She was the only person in my life who was always happy when I came home. Always thought I was the most important thing to her, so she will be missed. And looking to get another dog in the near future because, I need someone to tell me it's time to go walk.
Awesome. And last but not least, Jimmy, what is your life philosophy?
My life philosophy is, never let anyone tell you can't. Always know for yourself what's possible, which is anything. I think it was Oprah who said, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. So I kind of feel like life is about choices. What do you want to do? Sometimes it is saying no to something else that you really want for now, or maybe not to the extent that you could have had it if that was your only focus. But it's just about just basically no is never an option. Like go out for your dreams, go for it, no matter what anyone tells you.
Awesome. Thank you, James. And that wraps up James, a true superstar. And guys, as always, please leave your love for James, comments, and likes. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.